You know that moment when you sit down to a meal that's been your go-to 100 times before? Maybe it's your favorite vegetable bowl or the smoothie that you've made on autopilot for years, and yet today your body says, nope, not happening. Your stomach tightens up, your pants feel like they've shrunk in an hour, and your mind gets brain fog and your energy tanks before you've even finished your day. And what creeps in next isn't just discomfort, it's doubt. What did I do wrong? This felt fine yesterday. What changed? Is something wrong with me again? And it's not like problem solving is your first rodeo, because you can problem solve in the dark with a blindfold on, because that's just who you are: capable, driven, solution oriented. But when your body isn't cooperating, you start whispering things to yourself like, why can't I figure out my own body? What's wrong with me? I can figure everything else out. Why not this? And why is my body holding me back from the goals in life I know I'm meant for? And if you've ever felt like your digestion turned on you out of nowhere, even when you were eating clean, there's a reason for that. You're not imagining it, and you're not missing something obvious, because you are a solution-driven woman. You're not here for another protocol. You're here for clarity, and you're ready to lead your body, to be the CEO of it. So let's get into why your body can feel so unpredictable even when nothing else changes. You've done everything right: clean eating, supplements, every protocol you could find, and still you're exhausted, stuck in brain fog, and your digestion is unpredictable. These symptoms aren't random. They're signals your body has been trying to send, but no one taught you how to read them. I'm Tasha Miller, and this is the Natural Health Solutions Podcast. This is where ambitious women stop guessing and finally start understanding their body with clarity. Now, before we dive in, I was reviewing my podcast show statistics this week, and while there are an amazing number of you who are repeat listeners, only 31% of you listen each week are actually following the show. And that means most of you are tuning in, but you miss the episodes that could finally explain why your body has been feeling the way it does. And every time I show up here, you might be thinking, well, why wasn't I taught this? Why didn't I know this sooner? And this podcast exists to answer those questions by helping you to understand your body through your body type and your symptoms, not just another protocol. And when you follow this show, you're not just staying informed, you're joining a movement to make your body type blueprint and symptom clarity the norm, not the exception. So this week, I'm inviting you into a community challenge. I would love it if we could move from 31% to 35% of you following together. Let's do this together. And if this show has helped you to understand your body in a way that no one else has, I want you to take a moment to tap follow. On Apple Podcasts, you can tap the plus symbol in the top right of the show page. On Spotify or other apps, look for that follow or subscribe button, whichever option you see. And that one simple step helps more women finally connect the dots and lead their health instead of outsourcing it. And if you're feeling extra adventurous this week, I would love it for you to take 20 seconds to leave me a written review and let me know which episode really stood out to you and why. I really love reading your reviews. Both of these actions that you can take really pushes the show up into the algorithm, and I really want it to get out to more women. So let's dive into this week's episode. Let's address the big misconception first. You know, it's not always about the food. You're eating a meal that's clean, safe, and familiar, and halfway through your stomach starts to turn. You might feel heavy, distracted, uncomfortable, but here comes that mental loop that just goes around and around. Maybe I shouldn't have had the chickpeas. Maybe sweet potatoes too starchy now. Should I cut the carbs again and go back to low FODMAP? But here's what I want you to consider. The food didn't change necessarily, but your internal state did. And no one's ever taught you how to factor that in, how to look beyond the food on your plate to the state that you're actually in. In my 30s, I performed in the musical theater. I did lots of things, you guys. I was a teapot in Beauty and the Beast. Like it was fun times. But many times I performed in lead roles, but every performance also included singing in the group. And if you've ever sung in harmony, you'll know this. Even if one voice slips out of key, the whole group starts to shift. And even the strongest singers can lose their pitch and their harmony when they're surrounded by sound that's out of tune. Why? Because the body wants to match what it hears and it follows the dominant signal. And your body works the same way. You can eat the exact same meal, the one that felt perfectly fine last week, but if your internal chorus is off, everything shifts. And maybe your nervous system is elevated, your hormones are changing this week, or your digestion is sluggish from poor sleep or stress. And that one off signal can pull the whole system out of rhythm. So you're not always just reacting to the food. You're reacting to the disharmony in your internal environment of your body. But instead of listening to the environment of your body, you tend to blame the meal. You restrict more, you spiral, you rush to Google with your symptoms, not realizing that digestion isn't static, it's responsive, it's alive, kind of like a living, breathing thing. And it's just like a performance. It only works when the whole system is in sync. Your stress, sleep, the homeostasis of your nervous system, hormones, the physical temperature around you, your environment. If one of those is off, it can throw your whole system out of tune. And even if the food is right, the disharmony inside changes how your body might receive it. One of my clients lived in Oregon for years and always struggled with allergies. She often felt heavy and congested, especially during the rainy season. And her body type blueprint is primarily the anchor body type. And anchors, they don't thrive in damp environments. That external climate was actually amplifying her internal balance. And when her family relocated to Montana, which, if you know, it's a much drier climate, her symptoms improved dramatically. No more allergies. And that's the power of understanding your environment and the things going on around you. And I've seen this in my own life too. After years of living in central Alberta, which is viciously frigid and cold and dry winters, my body felt constantly depleted. And I didn't realize until we moved to the Shuswap in British Columbia, where the seasons still shift, but the climate is so much more gentler, that my own system could finally thrive. And the point is this, your environment is also part of your body's natural internal rhythm, striving for that harmony. So when the environment inside your body shifts and you start to feel off, it's easy to assume that food is the problem. But the truth is, it's rarely that simple. You've been taught to micromanage the food, cut this, avoid that, follow this protocol, but no one ever handed you the skills to read your body. Bloating equals failure. Fatigue equals your fault. Cravings equals weakness. But what if those weren't bad signs? What if they were just data? Information for you. This is the kind of clarity I wish you had and that I want to give you. And it's why I'm creating the Body Clarity Method. In the first place, I lived this and learned the clarity I now teach. And inside my full method, we stop treating symptoms like the enemy and start seeing them as signals. Bloating isn't failure. It's your gut saying, I'm overwhelmed and dry. Brain fog isn't your fault. It's your gut-brain axis flagging an issue, and your digestion may be sluggish. Sugar cravings aren't your lack of willpower. They're your body's way of asking for grounding because maybe you've been so stressed going a million miles a minute or burning the candle at both ends. Your body has been trying to get your attention for years. You just haven't been given the right language to understand it. If this sounds familiar, it's because you're not alone. This is the exact kind of woman I created the Body Clarity Method for. This was me. This is what I was craving. This is what I wanted. Because if you're like me, I know you're ambitious, solution-driven, and beyond tired of second-guessing your body. I was. The full method isn't public yet, but it is coming. And the only place that I'll be sharing early insights and first access to when the doors open, as well as an exclusive founders opportunity, is in my weekly newsletter. Plus, I do share weekly insights so you can understand your body more than you ever have. So head over to tashamiller.co/newsletter to sign up. The link is in the show notes. And don't worry, I hate spam just as much as you do. Now, inside the Body Clarity Method, there's a framework that I teach called the Recalibration Toolkit. And it's not about restriction or starting over. It's about knowing which lever needs your attention right now. And those three levers are food, routine, and lifestyle. And you probably have one lever that consistently throws your body out of sync, even if you haven't fully named it yet. For some, it's overscheduling. For others, it's eating the same cold smoothie every morning in the middle of winter while your nervous system is overtaxed. And for others, it's eating perfectly, but struggling with anxiety or worry about your financial situation. And inside the method, we ask some simple but powerful questions. Which lever feels off today? Was I rushing through meals? That's a routine. Was I cold all day, experiencing dry skin and eating frozen green smoothies? That's food. Was I surrounded by chaos, noise, and stimulation all day? That's your lifestyle lever. And you've probably been trained to default to food when it comes to unpredictable digestion. But when you understand your body type blueprint, you'll start to see how your levers interact and how what fuels you might drain someone else. Your symptoms, as you know, and I've talked about this a lot, they are not random. They're your body's way of giving you a signal of guiding you back. They show you which levers need adjustment. And once you learn to read them, recalibration, it's just going to become second nature to you. I was visiting a friend who moved from Canada to Mexico a few years ago, and she is unmistakable, fair skin, as white blonde as you can get, extroverted, full of energy, and she's always wearing sparkly fingernails and bold lipstick. And you could literally spot her a mile away and probably hear her laugh even sooner. So just picture that. Now, every week she would walk past a group of local workers. This is when she first moved there, while checking in on one of her clients' properties. And she was still learning Spanish at this point, but she had picked up a go-to phrase she'd confidently use every time they greeted her. She was warm and friendly, and she was sure she was saying the right thing. Anyway, weeks went by. She had smiles, whistles, side glances from this group of workers until one day, a friend who knew Spanish pulled her aside and said, "You do know what that phrase means, don't you? It doesn't mean what you think it means." And let's just say it explained a lot and was definitely giving the wrong message. She laughs about it now because today she's actually quite fluent because she learned the language. She knows exactly what she's now saying. And that's what it's like learning the language of your body. At first, you're guessing, hoping you're saying the right thing or doing the right thing. But once you learn to decode it, once you understand the language, you lead with clarity. Now, I want to give you an example of how this looks in real life. Inside the body clarity method, we start with observation, not obsession. Before you change anything, you learn to understand what your body type blueprint is and then decode what your body is already saying because you can't lead what you don't understand. And we do this through your body type blueprint and how it interacts with the seasons, your stress load, and the phase of life that you're in. Your body needs are never static. They ebb and flow. And this isn't a fix or a protocol. It's a practice, one that reconnects you to your body signals. Like what happened in the 24 hours before the symptoms started? What state were you in when you sat down to eat? Which lever? Was it food, routine, or lifestyle that just didn't feel right that day? And if you want to test something today, try this. After your next meal, I want you to pause for 10 minutes. No scrolling, no checking your messages, no jumping into tasks. Just let your body register what you've eaten. This one shift does two powerful things for you. It gives your digestion the calm it needs to begin digesting instead of staying stuck in stress mode. And it helps your brain to recognize that the meal is complete, so you're not left wanting more snacks or stimulation or feeling unsettled. And this small pause helps your body shift out of stress and actually into digestion, because the number one thing that we want to do when it comes to digestion is make sure that that digestive fire is nice and strong and healthy, so your system can actually register and receive the food that you've given it. Now, if you've spent thousands on protocols, supplements, or specialists, even hundreds of dollars, if you've done all the right things and still don't have the results you were hoping for, if you've ever wondered whether your body is the one exception to healing, let me say this to you clearly. You have not failed. You just haven't had the right framework. You've been trying to fix your symptoms when what your body really needed was understanding. Because what you want isn't just to stop the bloating. You want to wake up feeling clear and confident and grounded, not wondering how your body's going to feel today. You want to trust that you can make plans, lead in your work or your life, and show up for the people that you love and the people that are around you without your body derailing the day. You want to jump on that bus and not have to worry about, am I going to need the washroom? You want the freedom that comes from finally understanding yourself. And that's what the body clarity method is designed to help you build, not perfection, but partnership with your body. And that's why I'm so excited to be creating it for you. This isn't just another course or another cleanse. It's a method, one that teaches you to think with your body, not against it. And like I said, it's still in the works, but the frameworks are in place and every piece is being built to make sure the process is simple, sustainable, and specific to you. You know, I've never met a woman who said, "It's okay. I'm fine not to understand my body." Because clarity changes everything. Clarity is empowering, and it's what takes you from guessing and frustration to confidence and trust and calm inside of your own skin. It's time to stop guessing and finally become the CEO of your own body. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. And I want you to thank yourself for trusting your body enough to stay curious, even when it feels unpredictable. If today's episode resonated, share it with another woman who's been second guessing her body. I promise you, she's going to thank you for it. Meet me back here next week, same time, same place. Thank you for spending time with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, tap follow and leave a 5-star review down below. I read every single one and it helps more women find this podcast. If you want to keep the conversation going, head to tashamuller.co for resources, offers, and all the ways to connect with me.